Guys, welcome back to Pommyinoz. How we all doing? I hope we're well. Melbourne currently stage 4 lockdown. We did it. Unbelievable stuff. If you are new around here, please like and subscribe. It means the world to me. And now that it's a little bit like I'm going to be in prison, that I'm only allowed out in certain hours of the day, it'd be great to have you join me for the ride. So today what we're doing is we're doing something different. As those who know me, we know that I'm one of the biggest Carlton fans in the world. Also, back in the UK, my beloved Rangers kicked off their season, so it's like a late night for me. So the fact we're in lockdown is actually pretty cool because it means I don't have to get up early. We went down to Pittodrie Stadium, and that is usually a place that's not very good for Rangers in the last years. We have conceded late goals last year, which was a bit of a shock. It's always a tricky fixture. Traditionally, those who don't know Scottish football, this is like a real big rivalry. Rangers and Aberdeen has a long, steep history. A little bit like, your Carlton Richmond, Carlton Essendon. It's a long-standing rivalry. Probably not up there with Celtic, which would be like the Carlton Essendon equivalent. This would be like the Carlton Richmond. We just don't like each other. And it was a tough game. We controlled it for large passages. We never looked too threatening. But we did control the game, we controlled the football well, we used the space, very traditional with a Stevie Gerrard type side to control it in the midfield, looked to pick them apart out the back, and we controlled the ball for probably 80 of the 90 minutes. Aberdeen had a few chances late on, but they never really looked threatening, and the boys kind of sewed up the deal quite early on. It was a moment of genius from Morales, who managed to flick the ball through for Ryan Kent to finish, who is, as we all know, one of my favourite players. It was a real solid, really assured and real mature performance, and it was a potential banana skin. Even Stevie G at the end of the game said that a lot was made of this game, the slip-ups in the past, pardon the pun with Stevie. And it was a assured performance. I thought, for me, it was, I think we could have gone a bit harder. I think that's one of the critical things of Steven Gerrard. Sometimes we look to control the game when I think the second goal was there for the taking, particularly at the start of the second half. We kind of passed it around too much for me, looking for that killer ball where sometimes you've just got to go back to basics and play ugly. But all in all, I thought it was good. I thought Balogun really slotted in really well. He looks like a real threat down back. He looks like a real ball-playing midfielder. I wouldn't go as far to say like that Virgil van Dijk type player, but he's kind of fits that mould, and he's the modern-day centre-back, looking to play the ball, looking to get to the midfield. For Ryan Jack as well, you can see that he's working with Stevie G. He's starting to get that box-to-box feel about him. Looks to play the simple ball, looks for the overlap as well, which is really good. I thought our win-backs in the form of Barisic and Tavernier were phenomenal as usual. They just look to get that overlap going, really create that width, which helps spread and create space for your Hadjis and your Kents and your Jacks, and it works really well. I'm really confident this season. We've got to stop Celtic some way, and I think that this side is probably the best side we've had for a while. Morales was his usual kind of flattered to deceive, a little bit wayward, but I thought all in all it was a complete performance, and I was fairly happy. So without any further ado, let's get into the player ratings. Let's start off, Alan McGregor in the sticks. To be fair, he was a passenger. He didn't really have much to do. That he had to do, he did well. I think he controls the defence really well. He's real vocal down there. There was that kind of frantic goal line scramble, but with Big McGregor in the sticks, you're always in with a chance. He looked solid, and it was just another Alan McGregor type game. Tavernier, he looked brilliant to me. Probably didn't quite overlap as much as we used to, didn't maraud forward as much, but I thought he was on a Johnny Hayes, ex-Celtic guy, he's always a tricky customer, knows him well. I thought he stifled him really well. He definitely won that battle. Played a few neat through balls, there was good little 1-2s, and all in all I thought it was just a solid performance from our captain. Connor Goldson, I gave him a 7 out of 10. I thought it looks like a really promising centre-back partnership. Him and Balogun, it looks really solid. You can see that they're already starting to click and work together, man up really well. And I thought, he looks good. He puts in some strong challenges. He plays off the shoulder of the front man. He looks really reliable, and I thought he was really solid. It was a 7 out of 10 for me. I thought old Leon Balogun, he looks like an absolute beast, doesn't he, on there? He looks quite the player. For me, he uses the ball really well. I come from the generation that centre-backs just used to kick turds out of people. He looks really solid for me. He looks to play that pass. He looks to get the game going. And for me, I was really impressed with it. A lot of the centre-backs nowadays are that modern-day ball-playing player, and he looks really good. I mean, for me, Stevie G would have looked at that game and been really solid. It was a great acquisition. It's probably one of our problem positions last year, and he looks solid. Looks solid, good in the air as well, strong. We know he's got a tough head as well because he put a dent in one of the old goalposts. For me, solid, real good debut, 8 out of 10. Happy to see more. Excited about where that could lead. Barasic, as usual, do you know what I mean? He just controls that left flank, doesn't he? He gets into good places. He's got the good deep cross. Looks for that early cross as well. For me, he's one of our better players and he's just really solid. He reminds me a lot of a young Patrice Evra for United. You know, the way he looks for the overlap, looks to make things happen, looks to play that 1-2 and cut back inside as well. Really looks a dynamic threat. Solid defensively and is a real good attacking option for us. Ryan Jack, I'm becoming really impressed with this guy. I think you see a lot of Steven Gerrard in him. The way that he plays the ball, he looks to do the simple things well. It's nothing too flash. It's just reliable. I thought he locked himself down. And I'd like to see him pull the trigger a little bit more though when he's outside the box. He looks to play the ball in and I just want to see him just ping that ball through. But I think that's a confidence thing. But it was a good game, 7 out of 10 for me. Glenn Kamara, what can I say? Him and Aribo, they're becoming the partnership. I mean, he rarely wastes possession. It wasn't a fantastic performance, but I think this is what you see is what you get with him. He reminds me of, you know, that kind of like Gilberto Silva type role, where he's never going to get the kudos, you're never going to give him man of the match, but it's solid. It was a 6.5 out of 10 for me. It's just solid. He does it well. He tracks back well. He offers something going forward. I just feel there's something like missing in his game and I can't quite picture it. Oh, Joe Aribo, eh? I like this guy. This guy's growing on me. He's got some real good touches. He looks to make things happen. He's got like that Canu type frame. It looks like a gazelle on ice, but it keeps on going. He looks like he's going to make something happen. And I think that's a really good thing about our midfield and our attackers at the moment. There's a lot of players there that are X-factor players that can change the game. He looks for the through ball. He looks to take the game on. I really enjoy the fact that he has that injection of pace. For me, it was an 8 out of 10. It was a real solid game. Really enjoy it. And I reckon that you're going to see... He's going to be in on the goals, him. I can see a decent goal return from this boy. I mean, it took a moment of brilliant defending to stop him. Definitely going to be in the goals this year. And I think once him and Hadji combine, they're going to look really good. We saw him move out wide. I'd like to see Hadji and him swap and him play a bit more central. Hadji, it's more of a playmaker, but it was good performance. Talking about Hadji, 7 out of 10 for me. And we know I love Hadji. I loved his dad when his dad played, and I froth the younger version of him. He's got all the tricks, hasn't he? It kind of reminds me a little bit like Ronaldo when he first came to England. He's got all the talent, all the skill. It's just learning when to apply it. He tries to do the sensational too much. There's a few, you know, them Rabanas were popping in, you know, back heels when we probably didn't need to. Players weren't quite on the same page, but I like that. And for me, he's going to change a game. That kind of X-factor ability is going to win you football matches at all levels, especially with European football coming up. This is the kind of guy that can break open European football. Big stage, big player. I really enjoyed his game. He was subbed just towards the end with 15 minutes to go, but it was a good solid performance, good to build on. Probably wasn't his greatest game, but you know, there's some moments of class, and he's a bums off seats type player. Old Ryan Ken, I was so stoked when we got him back. This guy is a beast. He took his finish well. He always looks a threat. Always looks like he's going to make something happen. Whether he's playing the ball into the box or he's in the box himself, this guy is just an absolute footballer in every sense of the word. Missed an opportunity early on, but you know, he made up for it with a very cool, calm, collected finish. If we're going to win the league this year, this guy is going to have to fire. And for me, he looked brilliant. I thought he links up well with Morales as well, which is really exciting. If we can keep him, that would be really good. I don't think Alfredo will stay though. I think we'll probably lose him this transfer window. But if they can stay together, they've got a real good basis for something special, I think. They look really good together. 8.5 for me. He was absolutely phenomenal. Old Alfredo, what can we say? Brilliant at setting up, Ryan Kent kind of goes in and out of the game though. He reminds me a lot of Berbatov in the terms of that, 1 minute he's on, next minute he's off. Kind of looks lethargic at times. Don't think he's quite fit for me, but I mean, he had a moment of brilliance to set up Kent. He's got the shooting at times of a blind sniper, but you'll forgive him. It was solid, 6 out of 10 for me. I like to give me strikers goals and then they get a bit over a 6, but for me he did enough, and let's hope he stays. I mean, if his heart's not in it though, release him, but I mean, for me, he is a proven match winner on his day. And old Scotty Arfield, he came on with 50 minutes to go, did his job. Another 6 out of 10 for me, just did his job. What you see is what you get with Scott, and that's what I love about him. It's just, he tackles well, does the simple things well. All in all, it was a good game for me. Real positive. I'm happy to start with 3 points. Unfortunately, the Scum, they got a big win yesterday evening, which is a shame. But I mean, it's a good start. It's 3 points in the bank. We got Leverkusen coming up on Friday, which will be a ripper. I'm looking forward to doing that one for you. That's the Rangers review. If you are a Carlton fan, please get behind them. I am going to do a video later in the week of why you should support this side. They are a big part of my life, and it'd be great to have some blue baggers on board. Come and join us. As always, stay safe, people. Pom out.